there is 3D tiles out there. There are 3D tiles out there, high quality 3D tiles. Problem being is it ends up being really expensive, and after a while it starts blocking play because it's full 3D, you know?
Yeah.
So you can't quite get in underneath everything to manipulate the miniatures, which is important. You know? You don't want to stop gameplay to rearrange the whole map just so that the guy can get through the door or whatever, you know what I mean? And that's now the really nice thing about the modular dungeon tiles is because it's modular, you can put all of the blocks against each other. They're interchangeable in every way.
Yeah.
You know, so you can have everything face in any direction, and you have a solid frame when you put your tiles down. You know, it's not like the normal flat tiles that you have to leave gaps for the walls or whatever. Is in the modular dungeon tiles, the walls are incorporated, so you can just put all the tiles right next to each other, and it creates a nice chunky solid surface to play on that will resist, let's not say all dice throws, let's say fairly non-aggressive dice rolls and non-aggressive movements by players. You know, I know a specific friend of mine that throws dice rather aggressively.
Yeah.
That you know, on occasion looked like it was going to embed in a wall.
And on occasion it probably did.
On occasion it probably did. But you know, it's not a case of you have to be so gentle to not touch the tile, otherwise everything falls out of alignment. You know.
Yeah.
So it's a very effective tool, especially for something as interactive as D&D. You know.
Yeah.
And it adds so much more flavor. You know. Seeing a table on the field will allow you to think of options, whereas previously you might have known there was a table there, you know, but because you were busy thinking of other things or imagining other things, you didn't consider it as a tactical option, you know.
Yeah.
But it's a very interesting and very cost-effective way of spicing up your dungeon.
Yeah, and I mean, another cost-effective way to spice up a dungeon is, especially if you want to make a tundra. And I'm thinking off the top of my head here, if you want to make like an ice field with water or whatever, what's the one object that we always throw away that we never fucking think of using in crafting? Styrofoam. Styrofoam. Because it's a tundra, it's snowy, there's one part of the color palette already done.
Yeah.
So all you need to do is you make cracks, fill the cracks with some blue shit, and you've got ice.
Yeah. Well, basically, yeah, you just... Yeah, there you go. And then you have an undercoat there that's ice. And then you just paint over the top of that and boom, there, ice, snow. You know, you can even break it up into bits. Then it's snowfields, you know?
Yeah.
Or icebergs or whatever, you know, the what you can imagine, basically. Really cool.
And that's the one thing I would love, and I'm going to set out this challenge to you once you've gotten used to making it and once you've improved a bit on your skills. Once like, let's say, 4 tiles takes you, apart from the drying of the paint, actual designing and everything of it, takes you about half an hour for 4 reasonably large tiles, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What's your dimensions you use?
Well, I use the grid style. A lot of people, especially people from a Warhammer background, choose to go gridless, in which you have measuring tools to indicate distance, and it allows for true azimuth, even 3D movement, right? Because you don't have to go in a grid pattern. You know, they like that. That is what a lot of the dungeon tiles are laid out as. But me, myself, I like grids. I'm a grid player. I've always been a grid player. Always will be a grid player, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the dimensions I use is 7.5 centimeters, or to those that still live in a metric imperial world, 3 by 3 inches.
So what was the grid size that we used? Was 2 by 2, right?
A standard grid size is
Like the one we
inch.
used with Zod. The one
Yeah,
he
that
threw down
is-
was 2x2.
2.5 by 2.5. Yeah, that's standard 1-inch size
Ah,
grids. Yeah, it's just over 2.5 centimeters, but you can call it 2.5. You know, it's 1 inch, 2.5 centimeter.
you know what would be an amazing fucking thing to create?
Yes,
And you, the engineer, will have to figure out a way to make this possible.
yes.
Is, like, you know what's that fucking crafting called? And Pia might actually know more about this. Where you harden material with sugar water? Do you know about that?
I am aware of it. I do not know its name, but not. Yeah, I know of it. I'm not too clued up on it. Why?
Because what you do is you take string, like
Yeah,
thread.
yeah,
You lay them out in a grid pattern,
yeah.
right? And what happens is you lay the tiles down, and then you lay that over the tiles. Then you've got your grid without affecting the thing. The problem with that is those things aren't sturdy.
Yeah.
One
This-
bump in them and they bend out of shape.
Yeah. The system I've got in place right now for creating grids is I'm going to explore it I'll explore it further still. But what I do is your base material for making the tile is cardboard. Now the ones that are suggested that be used and that I'm using is double layered corrugation, right? So you've got one layer of cardboard, then you've got the corrugation, then you've got a second layer of cardboard, and that's where most cardboard stops. But more heavy duty cardboard has a second layer,
Yeah.
which you know you use to make transport fridges and TVs and you know stuff that has to be a little bit more sturdy than standard cardboard, right? And what I normally do is after the crafting phase and before I put on the undercoat is I cut grids into the top layer of cardboard, just the top layer. I don't cut any deeper so that the structure isn't compromised, but it does disrupt the floor in such a fashion that it looks like my tiles have grout.
Yeah.
And then I have my grid without it actually looking too gritty, if you know what I mean. And then I can enhance the grid layout with just black paint and a fine brush, and then I sort of just freehand draw over it. So it puts in automatically a few imperfections, and boom, it works because you've then got the real depth because it's actually missing because you cut it. And
Are
you've
you on
got
the pink
black
team?
sides.
No, you're not. Yeah?
No, I'm not on a team yet. And you've got the sides, and it looks quite cool, I must say.
I've seen pictures of it. It is, with the tiles that you created, it is pretty damn decent. I just thought of something.
Yes.
That could be like the perfect layout if you want to start like creating castle textures.
Yes. I think so too.
Fuck, I don't have a teleporter potion. How the fuck did you get there?
I dug. I just went to digging. I've now got an ice machine.
Okay. But did you go down the main shaft and just choose a direction?
Yeah, I went down the main shaft, and it's off to one of the sides.
Shaft. Shaft.
Shaft.
Ooh, what's this? Is this lead? Oh, that's fucking tin. Yeah, the way you designed your thing might actually be really cool for castle design.
I think it could be, you know. I'll just have to work on the color palette. I'm very new to painting. Just to give you an indication how easy all of this is that tile that you saw was my first attempt at painting.
Really?
Yeah, so you know it's not hard. You just have to have an eye.
Leave me alone! I don't want to die, you damn fucking bird thing under the ice caves. I'm in the ice caves now, so...